Hello and welcome. Time for a part two for Theta Fun. Technically, on my end, it's still the 16th day of July 2019, 11:48 p.m. Eastern Time. And Theta's moving. It's having a volatile many minutes or hour plus right now. It's settling in right now at about a little over 1100 Satoshi after this last fall here from 1150 uh, down to like the 11 number. And yeah, just doing whatever, but two of these. And I missed this one. I got them ready, and I have ever since 2247. The longest I've been without a sell order north of these higher numbers was 15 seconds. Why only 15? Because, or maybe 30. Because oftentimes I'd be removing orders, making a sale, putting a new order in. Yeah, it made a lot of sales. As I left the video last time, as it was past this point breaking up, and well, it got up to about 1191. As far as my last trades are concerned, the highest I got was 1153. I could have got higher. It got up to almost 12. Earlier this morning at 8:16, I sold at 957. Then at 953, I bought at 969. Then at 1109, I sold at 986. 1134, I sold at 989. At 1550 or 1530 rather, I bought 963. 1606, I bought 960, and then sell 978 at 2126. That's like your appetizer, your prelude to everything that's happening. 1063 was the next price at 2225, 2226, 2228, then 2243, 2249, 2254, 2300 hours, and 9 hours, 15, 17, 17, and 17 again. Of course, 1135, it took two sales to get the order filled here, but uh, it was those are the numbers so far. And I don't want to start buying back unless it starts getting down to at least 1050. 1048 is the number I got for an alert crossing. And 1154 I have as a sell order in here. So unable to get any of this action in here, unfortunately. So be it. But you know what? That's what I want from these markets, is for them to move. And I'm playing this game like I was playing those video games for weeks upon end. And I'm not going to put, I don't put them up too often. I should download the Sky Go data. I got a couple, 3 days before my 2 week time if expires, meaning I have 2 weeks to keep my data fresh. But throwing that part aside, uh, I'm playing the game the same way. But what I'm noticing myself oftentimes is I'm getting a better trade. Almost more time, way more times than not. What I mean by that, and let me put in a theta crossing against something else. So let's go to here and just find some random one. I like the LITECOIN one, so let's find that one. My alerts will go off on theta, and then I'll see it even on here too. So those are those two moves, of course, on this side. So yeah, I'm playing the game the same way, but oftentimes I'm getting, so say it's down here, the computer's saying, okay, trade 723, and I'm not saying because the price goes down, it goes down with it. No. But let's just assume, okay, it's going down. That's because theta is going up. So theta, when I'm selling it, like, for example, when, say, this 1153, that's when the price was like 1140-ish or something at the time, and then Litecoin is whatever. Or whatever the other crossing happens to be. I just kind of gave away what this one was, though. And so therefore, it works out. Okay, so that's it. And say that the ratio was in at whatever it was, say 730.19. And I get, oh, 719.4. Oftentimes I'm getting 1.5, 2% tonight. I mean, on all of these, like almost all of them, but even lately. Which means I can overperform that game. And the fact that all I was showing in the black screen games was daily term closes at 8 o'clock. And you know what? It can work out in two different factors. Maybe over the next, how many hours to 8? Well, it's 24 minus 4. 20, if it's in the next 20 hours. Let's just assume the market on theta just keeps going higher. And then, of course, in this case, this would keep going lower. and I'm going to make, say, maybe 2 or 3 more trades on stuff like this. Up, sell, or buy, whatever. And my stats won't be as good. But more times than not, I'm going to get better flips. I'm going to get moves that they might not catch or won't be caught when you just check, say, once per day. But within the strategy that I talk about, that's the whole key within it. That is, if all you do is check once a day at one point, and it doesn't have to be the same time or any of that stuff, but at least after 20, 24, 30, or whatever hours, the markets are going to move, and the percentage difference could easily be different to the point where, like, yeah, I can make a trade here, and then when you make a trade, it's 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and you're done, and you don't need to check till the next day. But if it's even more so, and I say this for you got another job doing this, or you're doing whatever, and you end up having the morning as well, maybe. Okay, you wake up, maybe you leave to go to work for, say, 8 o'clock. Say you leave at 8 and you get up at, like, whatever, 6 something, and you check the computer. And again, if you have to trade, good thing only takes 5 or 6 minutes because you got stuff to do to get ready. And then you come back, it's dinner time, you're done dinner, you check the computer, you get your ratio, which can be done automated for you. You can do a simple calculation. Dividing two numbers is easy. And you can check on the phone, your phone. You can see the prices. And I'm sure there's apps available that could do it for you. And I don't know, but there's ways, of course, of making your job very easy to do within it. And then, of course, that the gains that can come into play can become phenomenally, well, sick, really. Let's take a look at this sun. Because what did this move here mean? I mean, 1,400 means we're going down to here, I suppose. At least at current Litecoin prices. But any of these kinds of moves, like in here, we got 313. So February the 27th, you have a situation where what would you be doing during these 3 days? Because for days you were seeing the ratio a little north of 500. And then if you're checking this on a day by day basis, you can see how effective this would be. Okay, so it closes here at 501 at this stage. You'd be like, it's going lower because before it was 530, then it was 515, all these 5, 10, 20, 30 prices you've been seeing. And now you see 500, so it's in the radar. And then the next day, 409, okay, make a trade. Next day, 360, maybe you make a trade. But if you don't, because your volatility wasn't good because it was only down 12%. Maybe that's not good enough volatility. Well, now you got another 12%, which makes it over 20% in a 2-day period. So either you traded both days over or you traded this day and that day. And then whichever days it was, you didn't sell on every one of these up days. You have 3 green days in a row. But one of those or some of those you'd be doing it. And well, you can see in here on this situation here, had you been available to sell up here at, say, 400, and you see it come back to 370, not the greatest of buybacks, but in fact, I probably wouldn't have taken it. But either way, you can see that you were going to get these sells back. And then it just happens again on March the 9th. Oh, okay. So after all of these trades back, okay, sell, say, 365. And then maybe again at, say, 411. And maybe you didn't even sell the 440. Either you got one of these two or you got 411. Plain and simple. But what you did have here is 300, and then the next day it's 360, 20%. Let's just see. 21.8. Next day it's up at 18. So taking advantage of all those swings means you increase the amount of Litecoin and or Theta within your portfolio. And small moves in here, are they profitable in volatility? Well, on this day, it was a down day of like 14% or 4. Let's just take a look at this, 11%. Well, you know what? That could easily work out. But if you did get the buy, be thankful because the next day it's up 20. And if you were like, it was down, I last bought at, say, 778, and this wasn't a good sale point because you bought, say, back in here on, say, May 18th or whatever. Say your last buy was this, so it was 787. Well, now you can be like, do I want to sell at 896? That's a differential of like a little over 120. We're talking about 17%. If not, the next day you got a bit better of a deal, selling up here. And then, of course, all the stuff you sold here, well, we're in the buyback spot, and some of those are today. Some of those are today, of course. Okay, starting to go down, so that probably tells me that theta is breaking down below that 1,000 number. Or above it, actually, I guess. Yeah, above it. 11, 12. Okay, so now you got... Okay, this is what's interesting because do I go to... I mean, it's only 12 o'clock. But if this just doesn't do much, I almost have to just adjust my sell orders accordingly. And go to bed. Now, how would I adjust my sell orders right now if I were to do so? Because right now I got sell orders in like 3 to 4 different spots, with the lowest one being 1153. And the highest, I got like 4,000 even in right now. But I got like 4 of them in. And what I would do is I would be like, okay, well, what have we had? We've had a couple hits here. I'd probably do one more shot at the high 1300s. I'd probably put 2 orders in. Probably put a sell order in for 1300 and change. And then I'm going to be putting in another sell order. And again, I run the 3,000, and that's it. Just put 2 in. Maybe look at the Ethereum market, but you know what? It seems as if this is the market that's having these types of push moves. It's been happening over and over, so I really got to be effective and really always have sell orders in, like for 20-30% up above price. And I think for anyone else watching this, it's a good idea. And I talk about keeping coins off the exchange. Well, currently right now, under 10% of my Theta are on Binance. Well under 10%. Noticeably under 10%. And that's just the way it's going to go. And now for all the stuff that I bought, none of it is leaving the exchange overnight for me. Because I'm going to be moving into a situation where I'm expecting one of 2 things if it's not near 1100 Satoshi. And that, oh yeah, it's up or down. Yeah, exactly. But if it goes up, that means I'll be having more Theta sales. And at that stage, of course, I'll add to the coin. So, I mean, I'd rather send Ripple to my wallet once rather than, and for a higher amount. Because it cost me about a quarter. Not like it's much. And that's really what I look at is what's the cheapest. And Ripple's a little expensive compared to other coins at 25 cents, which is what I like about coins like Theta. Oh, I want to take Theta off of Binance. How much is it going to cost me? Oh, about a couple pennies? Yeah, 0.2 Theta, I think it is. So at a coin at like a dime or whatever it's at, 11 cents, that's like 2.2 cents. Not much. It could be cheaper given the fact that it pretty much is like Neo. It costs practically nothing when it costs T-Fuel and a micro hair of one of them. So from my wallet, taking Theta off the exchange, it's just laughable how it's like. I mean, not only is it practically free, but it's literally free given that Theta Fuel were given to me. So if I set anyone up with Theta account, someone comes over, hey Derek, I want to talk about cryptos, I want to talk about this trading. Well, the LITECOIN and Theta is going to be one of the main crosses, and then I'm going to go over a bunch of ones like Qtum and Ripple is ones I really like. Qtum, I'm a big fan of its volatility right now. And really for whatever coin you like, and for what it's worth, if you come and you say I want to trade this and this, and I want to trade your strategy, I'm like, yeah, go right ahead. If these are the 2 coins that you like, put them together and let them dance together. Because instead of just owning both coins, holding and waiting for them to have a superior gain, trade them back and forth, and then when they have the superior gain, then that's when you look towards profit taking amongst it. Now, come on, Theta, let's go, 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 baby. 11.12. I got a long ways to go to the 11.50 handle. But that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, that's exactly just it. Just keep on trading them back and forth. And you'll just be amazed in situations when you have all the plays back and forth, especially when if you're doing like 9, 10, 15, 20, whatever percent moves, then you're going to rack up most likely several a month, a lot of trades. And when you start to accumulate 60, 70, 80 trades together, you start to look at your profits. It's like, wow, I've done pretty good. I mean, that's a pretty good return on my gains. And that's without any spectacular volatility. Then you throw in spectacular volatility. And now you're talking about, oh my goodness, look at these last 4 days, 5 days, and how I flip coins. I mean, 35% here. Or you wake up, it's double. Like, even, I mean, if like this way, if I wake up and it's 3,000, what would I do? I'm selling probably 60% of what I own on my Theta. Probably about 60%, maybe 62. If I wake up and it's 2,200, I'm going to sell about 35, 45, 30, 40% even, close to 38, 40%. And that's, of course, with other markets not moving up at incredibly monstrous rates. And if that's the case, I'd have no choice but to sell some Theta against Bitcoin. Would that be cool if everything went up to like 100%? But in that case, it would be sick volatility because one coin would go up like 180, the other one goes up 72, and there's a good swap there. But let's not expect anything like that because I've never ever seen a dartboard rally where everything doubles in a day. I mean, I've never seen, not like it could ever happen. I mean, I suppose it could, but I doubt it. Just like in Dumb and Dumber, there was that Jim Carrey in that scene, Lloyd Christmas, I think is his character name, about asking this girl if he had a chance. And he's like, 1 in a million. Oh, so you're telling me there's a chance? Oh, which literally is how I look at it. And I like larger numbers when you talk about like billions, trillions, Googles. GOOGOL. That's one followed by 100 zeros. That's a big number. The only reason I know that number is because of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and that's a very infamous episode of $1 million question where somebody cheated and got that answer correct. Although, not honestly. Okay, so yeah, short term, this thing looks pretty good. I mean, day trading. I look at this as, look, is this not like a live candidate? Like, oh my goodness, you go long at like now, you buy like 11.14, and this thing should be at like 11.30. Like where my line is 11.32 and like 4 periods from now. We'll see. I mean, I got the time. It's what, 16 minutes. I can do like 25. See what happens. But it looks to me like a typically kick-ass breakout setup right now. We got a new minute in. I like how it closes at this high within these two. Comes down to the 18 as marvelous as it does. And then back up to this level. Pulls back to close near the 18 highs. And I don't get shorter than the 1 minute. But if there's any little of the resistance here. I mean, it's not trading that much. And when it's off trading, there's like there's no big volume in here, so but none. I mean, it could follow through with this play. That's why I often see this, and it just happens. And sometimes the rally comes on low volume, and it doesn't matter. Only price pays. Volume doesn't pay. It's just higher volume comes in spots like this because there's more reason for action. My volume's up on Theta today because of everything going on. I don't usually have as many trades that shown on the screen. But a lot, I mean, I look a lot of things I think of for myself is, I mean, what's the potential of a net result on this game? And that's now considering I can see the price and oh, there we go, 11.16. Well, we'll see a break and go back to. We'll see the price here. It's 11.17. I mean, just a beautiful day to see that. I mean, just crushing that tight day right there. But under the situation of several days, hundreds and hundreds, if not even 1,000, but several hundred, at least a year, over 400 we'll say, to be able to have small trades like, yeah, just make bits here or there, market goes up 10%, you have 7 weeks where it's unvolatile as anything, and then you have 2 weeks, 4 weeks where it's pretty good, pretty average. And then maybe once you have a big move of whatever proportions. Oh my goodness, what a move that was at one time. An individual move. Sort of like here. You had one here, you have one here. What is Theta capable of? It's already had this again today. And that's one of the things I've been thinking as well as too, is how capable is this of having some of those sick-ass moves that I kept on talking about before with coins like GRS and DGB back in the day. I'm trying to find the new DGB and GRS as far as volatility is concerned. And when I say volatility, price movement as well, of course, to the upside. And is this one of them? We'll see. But over that many days, if I'm able to get those kind of trades, then you can start talking about getting 7, 8, 10, 12, 14x gains against trading the ratios. Especially when you get your 50% moves, your 30% moves. Okay, a ratio goes from 600 to 900 and then back to 600. Well, that's better than going from 600 to 700 back to 600 because I'm going to get better profit, and I'm definitely going to be selling more if it goes from 6 to 9 rather than something going from 6 to 7. Although I still like 6 to 7 because uh, that's a gain of like 1.2 would be 20% of a gain, and it's gain of 1, so you're talking about like 16, 17%. So those are great gains as well. But when you get the phenomenal ones that can come into play and able to get the buybacks, this is 1121. Look at this. I mean, we're breaking out in here. So that's a surprise. I mean, it's just luck. Technical analysis doesn't work, some people say. And then some people say it doesn't work, or does work too. Of course, that's up for debate. Hey, some of the people might say, those who say it doesn't work, they just don't know how to do it. It's almost like if you don't know how to use a calculator and you say it doesn't work and the battery's fine, well, you just don't know how to use that calculator. Okay, so yeah, I keep on thinking about the possibilities of the gains. So I think this in perspective. Let's just assume you were able to get, say, a 15x on average within 2 coins. Now, in realistic situations, if I was to play a coin of Theta's nature, and look at that comeback, we'll see how this correctionary mode goes back to the 18. But I want to do this math here, because this is all short-term stuff, and I've got a long ways to go to my upper or lower end that I'm looking for. So then, 15x in gain. So if say Theta has a superior move, it goes up to like, we're talking like 100x moves kind of deal. Yet we have other coins doing like 10x moves and 14x moves and 5x moves. Well, now it's probably going to be, if it's a 15 average, maybe you got like 1.4 times more of Theta and 67 times more of the other coin. Or maybe you have 10 times more of one coin, 23 times more of another. That's really the whole point of this game. Might be a failed breakout, we'll see. But right now I wouldn't count on it. However, again, short term, whatever. I'm just going to stay up for the next 20, 30 minutes, see what happens. If volatility continues, I might be up till 2 or 3 in the morning if this keeps getting fun. But I need this to go way up or way down for that to happen. So you can get like, say, 10x gains on it. So if the market goes up like, say, or 15 is what I said originally. So now if these markets do go up on average 10 times, and you get 15 times on top of that, well, that turns out to be 150 times in overperforming the Bitcoin market. And then what does Bitcoin do? Well, Bitcoin's 10,000. We're talking about like a very premium spot where Bitcoin goes close to the quarter or above. We'll say to the $250,000 number. Well, that would be 25 times higher than $10,000 Bitcoin. 25 multiply 15. No, sorry, excuse me, sorry, 150 rather. Yeah. This is how math in your head. Okay, this is how I do it. 1,500 is a key number because that's 10. So you double it, that's 3K. Half of this is 750, the answer is 3,750. I mean, this is one of the easier in my head numbers. So you would basically overperform the market about 3,750 times. No, not bad. And no, it's not. It's amazing. If obviously, I mean, I'm being sarcastic when I say, man, not bad. Now, in situations like this, obviously, realistically, along the way of you doing a 3750x gain, you're going to be profit taking when you have 100x and 500 and 1,000 and so on. But in reality, that could still end up making you with a net like 2,000 or whatever x gain along the way. And that's really nothing to sneeze at. And then, if you do this with a serious bankroll, and you end up getting like 1,000, 2,000, 4,000 X gain. Well, per $1,000 and per 1,000 X gain would be $1,000,000. So say you had 5,000 in it. 2,500 on one base coin like Theta and 2,500 on your other coins. And so now with 5,000, you get, say the market goes up 150 times. Well, that's 5,000, 50, 3/4 of a million right there. But we're talking 1,000 times. So now we're talking like 7 million, 6 million. So the opportunities, mathematically speaking, are fantastic. And when you understand mathematics and numbers, just just let them do the work for you. And if you don't understand a lot of this, it's really not that difficult. Because one of the key things that you can do is take a chart like this. You got like, say, the daily chart. And I know you can see the data, but you know what? Let's just do 3 hour. And I know if you don't have, you can use the 4 hour. Obviously, I know the 4 hours you could have for free. So here we are in March. So here we are playing the game. Oh, 34.40. You put a sell order up here, buy order down there. So you probably have a buy order fill. So you put a sell order up here somewhere. You have a buy order somewhere below, like say 22 or whatever. Oh, there's that 22 or whatever right here. Okay, so you put a sell order in, and if you do it fast enough and play enough vol, or slow enough rather, and so you bought at 22 even. Okay, let's just see. Did this day hit it? No, because it was 22.11, but it did in here. Say it was 22.05 you had. Where would you put a sell order in? If you're playing for 10%, and that's like 2,400, well, you would have hit it this day and then be able to buy back that day. And then if not, well, maybe you got it up in here. Either way, all the opportunities you'd be able to play through the game. Oh, 2,100 up to 25. And then you can just do examples like how much would you sell? One of the ways of doing that is through a spreadsheet to calculate how results would come into play. And another way, of course, is just do it like a school project where you have pen, paper, and a calculator, and you ledger it, you organize it the best way for you to understand it and be able to keep going throughout such an adventure. It's not an adventure because it's schoolwork. I remember stuff like, oh, March break, accounting class, we got this project of this. It's like, gonna take 8 hours, 9 hours to do. Okay, it took me like, it was like one of those 8, 9 hours I did all day kind of deals, and it was tedious work. But you know what? You do it. Why would you do it unless you get something out of it? And what you get out of it is the understanding. Now, of course, I provided that black screen game before, and that's what I'm playing. And there would be a bunch of spots here where you'd buy, and any of these rallies that you would sell would have obviously worked out. But in this spot, if all those ones were like, oh, too small, I mean, you bought at like 1,500. I wasn't selling at 1,630. Okay, so let's just assume you bought at 1170. Were you able to sell at 14? And if you were there for it, were you able to sell at 1540? And then if not, you could be able to sell at 1650. And then hopefully, if you did sell there, you bought here. And then on this day, how do you not sell? Up 23%. And the accumulation factor, and when you think about the mathematics of it, how much would you be worth at, say, right here, at 1740? You sell, and then you buy back in here at some point. Maybe you sell, heck, maybe you sell here and buy back again. Sell here, maybe you buy back here, maybe you don't, but after all of this in here, you get all this buying to complete this move to this move back. And then you're selling again. So last time when you were at 1726 compared to this time, you're selling the same thing again, assuming you're trading this against Bitcoin. I like trading ratio for so many different reasons I've talked about before. Let me know if you're not sure of them, but I just can't keep going over them over and over again. But the Yeah, what you'd be worth is more. So the amount of the two coins, in this case, Bitcoin and Theta, that you have allocated for each other, would be worth more because of the buying and selling back. And then furthermore, when you come back up here again, same thing again. And then, okay, now your value is gonna go down. When you go from 1800 to like 927 like this, you got no choice. And it looks like this is heading lower now, which is 1072. Come on, go lower. But yeah, and you know what? You cheer for this. Like, I cheer for this like a game because the opportunities given that amount of time could be quite sick. So, and you know what? Given that play, that was a pretty decent sized failed breakout because I stated before in the 1 minute, oh, it looks like it's going up, and at first it did. I mean, there's a fast move going lower, 1075. Still not at my sell area yet because um, I did that calculation. 1075. I'm just going to show my spreadsheet. I haven't updated the other coins in a while. My last update I have on here was 1104. So now let's put in 1075. Up 2.67% against Bitcoin since July 7th. Everything else against Bitcoin is down in double digits, usually in the 20s somewhere, with QDM down 33. So what do you got for big numbers? 6.7. I'm barely. Well, that's not even a Theta one. ARK and Theta 6.5%. ARK is the first one. Current price is higher than this, 271. Of course, ARK could be a little different. That would make it go up or down as well. But unless it's getting a big rally, nothing enough where I'm looking to sell. And 6.79. So even that should tell me. What do we got here? 1048. That's a difference of 3. See, that's 3%. So, yeah, that's why I didn't take this number in the first place, because I think that's what I was looking at first, was that general area, when I decided, okay, where do I want to start buying back? And then I looked at that, I'm like, you know what, yeah, I'm looking for 7, 8, 9% moves if I can get it. Generally 8% even, for that matter. But um, coming off of what I'm getting here, I kind of want to get at least 10% buybacks, if possible. But a 1077, that just doesn't get the job done for me now, does it? So, gonna quote the song lyrics again from a WWE song that was classic at the start of the millennium. It's all about the game and how you play it. It's all about control. And if you can take it, it's all about your debts. And if you can pay it, and then you go stuff, I am the game. You don't want to play me. I am control. No way you can shake me. I am heavy debt. No way you can blah blah. And I am the blah. So here comes the pain. I don't even know the song offhand, all the exact words, obviously. But yeah, it's all about being being the game as I look at it. Because I want to take a look at Bitcoin quickly because it did go below 93. It's still at 93.7 now. 93.20 here. That's sick. I know that's not the low, I don't think, because I think I seen it at the 92 handle. Yeah, there's a 92 handle. Either this is a bottom or it's not in this area. If it is, it's going to be pretty damn powerful. And as a poker player, what was very common for me when I walked into the casino and I played against my opponents was one of the very important things was something I called profiling, which is basically the first thing that you do. And I mean, you pretty much can get a good general idea on like everybody for the most part. And that means, okay, this player is, you can tell by the way he's acting, how he's dressed, or she, whatever, how their mannerisms that, okay, they're this good, they're this bad, and that's the thing I've been trying to do ever since starting to play poker in 2005. I've had an obsession with reading the human race and just trying to figure out genuine, lying, what they're trying to portray, just different things like what's going on in the back of their mind kind of deal. And it's not that, I mean, it's difficult, but for something that's extremely difficult, I'm somewhat okay at it. And again, it was very rare where I would sit down at a poker table and think, okay, this person is damn good. In fact, to be honest with you, I've never seen an amazing threat because I've never sat with anyone of the likes of Phil Ivey, but I have sat with a couple, three people that I'm like, okay, these are people that I really need to respect. And then, of course, online poker, there was quite a few of them that you got to know. But I mean, that's interesting because uh, that's an interesting game when you play at a table where you got like two pros and everyone else are fish or whatever you want to call it. Because I'm actually really damn good in that spot against the other pro. Um, but anyway, that's off subject. In this case, there's somebody mentioning before, and I'm going to talk more about that tomorrow, regardless of the situation, who predicted 9,300. And in my reading ability of this person, and I've been watching her for a few weeks now, it's kind of scary because I kind of get genuine. It's genuine stuff. This is very woo woo, but you know what? Some people like it, and it's interesting because for me as a trader, back to Theta. For me as a trader, um, I have got a lot of these coins in here that are like kind of woo woo, like this one here, this white dove, talking big things about it. And okay, well, we'll see how it goes. White Dove being one of the most renowned psychics in the world. Of course, this isn't who I'm talking about for price calls. But with that being said, uh, what have I noticed with it? Well, again, in looking at this, one of my things I've noticed with price action since its inception is that it's compared to its class, when you grade it amongst the curve, it's kicking ass. Its volatility, and we're seeing it tonight, is spectacular. And that's really what I need. And um, I look at all these people it's trading like the Japanese yen and the euro together, or the Canadian dollar and the US dollar, or whatever those types of trading crosses. And I think to myself, really? Really? I mean, that's. My trading strategy within that could probably make, I don't know, 6%, 7%, 8% a year. Extra on your currency, maybe 10. As long as I got very cheap break. And technically speaking, if you can control the order book, you could do better than that. But that's using high frequency trading and algorithms, mainly algorithms. But a lot of what I've talked about in this ratio trading game is really just simple algorithms as well. Markets go up 15, 20% in one direction. That's an algorithm. Okay. And then you sell one for the other based on the situation. How much do you sell another algorithm? Well, based on the gain, you could sell so much based on how many sellers you've had in a row. So if something just keeps going up in one direction or down in one direction and you keep selling it, then how you sell it amounts should most certainly be affected by that. And your buybacks are totally different when you're not in a major move in one direction. If you're just getting up and down choppy action, your buybacks are relatively straightforward and but when you have a market that goes up like say astronomical proportions like 2, 3, 4, 5, 10x, and then all of a sudden after that it just goes back down, it's going to do it differently, and you trade it to such. And in this case here, this is a small example of what is what I'm looking for, where a lot of times in here, okay, we're going to be getting retracement, And technically speaking, what I probably should be doing here is calculating some Fibonacci. Where did this breakout? Where's the key low or the breakout point? Well, the breakout point is at least at 962, which does coincide with big resistance. Let's see if we can find a better area. Do we go with 940? I mean, we did have this move in here. Oh, okay. What I'm doing is I'm trying to calculate Fibonacci to possibly see where the best buyback spot might be, which could help in ratio trading. I either got to do 964 or that big number there. I'm going to do it from this low here at 962. But I'm not going to take this high. Rather, I'm going to take this high at 1195. So the 38.2 is 1045. Okay. You know what? I want a heads up. I want Pierce above 51. And that's a couple points better than what I had originally done. I'm going to be closing this video off now because it's extremely long. 41 minutes. What did I do? What did I just do? That's what happens staying up late, letting these markets move. See, my risk of buying here is if it comes down here, I mean, I'm going to get my buybacks, which is great. But if it starts to go back up, I'll accumulate more theta inventory for more selling in the morning. But I could get the buy here, then I could wake up and it's at like 960 again, and it's like, geez, I could have got a better deal. But for what it's worth, it is what it is. Only price pays, and I try to get the best price that I can. Thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.